An introduction to gain. Gain is a camera setting that changes the amount of light, sensitivity and signal. It is closely associated with the background noise. In this tutorial, we will talk about how to change the gain and what effects it has on images. We will also discuss features that help us with gain on a picture with the use of exposure and ND filters. The camera I will be using to demonstrate is the Panasonic DVX200. There are three main gain settings: 3 decibels, 6 decibels and 18 decibels. These are the settings of low, medium and high. I will demonstrate all these settings using two examples of natural lighting and very low synthetic lighting. First of all, we see our camera switch to low gain. The picture is still quite bright because of the natural lighting and low gain. To counter this, we use the slider to change how bright or dark the image is. This is an example of what we see on the cameras as we move the slider. This helped a little, but we will see if an ND filter will help. An ND filter is purely just a filter put over the lens by the camera, just like sunglasses, which just blocks out some of the light. On the Panasonic we can see three filters, 1/4, 1/16 and 1/64. This is the effect it has on the ND filter of 1/4, turning it off and on. I will now show you a dim lit room with low gain, 3 decibels. As you can see, it is very dark and would have no use of an ND filter as it would make it darker. We now switch to medium gain to see what the difference is. Outside in this natural lighting has become even brighter. To combat this, just play around with the exposure and ND filters like we did before. With a medium gain in dim low light, we start to see more of the image. However, we start to see a bit of noise. Noise is when we begin to see the static in the background of the image. This will become more apparent with high gain. After switching the camera to high gain, 18 decibels, in natural light, the camera was extremely overexposed. It was letting too much light in. Once again, we use the exposure slider to get the amount of light we want. This gets us to the current image, which is very static and has lots of dots on it, and is not as crisp as we would like to see. This, in inside dim lighting on high gain, doesn't work as much either. As we mess around with the exposure to overexpose the image and make it brighter, the noise becomes more apparent, and you can see it moving on the screen. You will need to keep the gain as low as you can when filming to minimise noise in the image. However, you may need more lighting to counterbalance it if in low light, or decrease exposure if there is too much light. Lastly, you can also change the gain manually to find the perfect camera settings for yourself. You can do this by pressing Menu, SW Setup, Gain, click on the low, medium or high to change the individual settings. On the Panasonic, it can range between 0 and 24. I hope you found this tutorial interesting and informative. Thank you for watching.